Hello, this is Helen. I'm going to show you how to make a wax cast into a plaster mould. So this is the plaster mould. It's been soaking for at least half an hour. It's filled up with water. Just make sure there's no actual water inside it. Shake it all out. And we'll bring it over here. And first of all, this is the melted wax. It's microcrystalline pellets in a regulated wax pot for safety. Melted down, takes half an hour to an hour. First of all, I'm going to decant it into a jug. Now, all these methods I've learnt from Eden up at Scottish Sculpture Workshop in Lumsden. Oh, I'm picking up some grit from the bottom there. I'll start again. Unfortunately, this wax has gotten a little bit dirty, but if you leave it to settle and just take from the top, you should get some clean wax. I need about 500 ml because I measured with a jug of water in the mould beforehand. So I'll just put plenty in here. Okay, now I'm just going to leave that to sit for a little bit to cool. What we're looking for is ghosting on the top. What that means is little white clouds. It's best to pour your wax not too hot, and it's less likely to leak from your mould as well, and it will set quicker. But if it so happens you've got a mould with a lot of fine detail, like this body cast here, I'm just draining it. It's been soaking, and it's held together with these elastic bands from bicycles inner tubes or car inner tubes. Right, do you see that has quite a lot of detail? So rather than pour the wax in, I'm going to stipple it in. So just to show you, while the other wax is cooling a little, you would just make sure there's no actual puddles inside it. Get the wax, dry brush so that it doesn't sizzle, and just begin to stipple on the inside. There, you heard that sizzle. And actually this way you get a very amazing texture on the surface of your wax, rather than when you pour it. So just stipple it into all the detail. And you would build up layer upon layer like that until you've decided your wax is thick enough to lift out. I'll show you an example there from a body cast, how much detail you're getting. So I'm not seeing ghosting yet. Just leave it to cool a little bit longer. Hello again. That's taken about 10 minutes to cool. And I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to be cloudy on the top. Okay, so I'm ready to pour now. I'm just going to pour in one steady stream. Right to the top. And then that can go back in the pot. Now what we're making here is a hollow wax. It's a lot easier to, a lot quicker to make. You can make several of them quite fast, multiples. So I'm waiting for it to form a little skin on the inside. The reason your moulds have to be wet is so that the wax doesn't soak into them. If you used a dry mould, the wax would be sucked straight into the plaster and you would never get it open. So you must soak them first. The water repels the wax. If you want to make coloured wax, you can use ordinary crayons. Just add them to the wax, stir them in, but do it in a jug so that my whole pot isn't coloured. You can also do wax casting into rubber moulds. Here's a skull. And you would just do it in exactly the same way, it just doesn't set quite so fast. You can also do hollow ones. Okay. Because the cold in the wet plaster sets it faster. That rhymes. So here's my little stippling experiment. I just peel that off. You can see the amazing texture it's picked up. So that's a good method for things with detail. I'm just going to tilt this a little bit now. We're back to the mould to see how thick the skin is forming. I want a couple of millimeters. It's quite hard to see. Oh yeah, okay, it's about a millimeter at the top there. So a little bit longer. Right, that was another 5 minutes. And I think you can see how the walls have thickened up there. And actually, I can clearly see little ghosts in there. The white spots. So that's definitely ghosting now. So you don't want to leave it too long if you've got a narrow pour hole, because it will start to close up. But what I'm going to do now is pour this back in the pot. And that's how it becomes hollow. Okay. It's actually sealed itself up towards the bottom there. It does get quite narrow. However, we'll see. The thing now is to wait a second or two and then pour water in. And the cold water very quickly sets the wax. This is colder. So just leave that sitting with cold water running into it. Right, so when the waxes start to go white, that's it set. It's a a very narrow funnel shape, and it's sealed itself towards the bottom. So it may not be set at the bottom, but I will open it very carefully and have a look. Okay. I may run cold water over it. Now you may be asking, why are you making a wax? What for? Well, some people just like a wax piece, but the other reason you'd be making a wax is for lost wax. So this would be the starting point for metal casting or glass casting. What you do with the wax now is you make a mould over it, a once only breakable mould, and then you cast your metal or your glass into that mould. And because this is hollow, if you were doing it for glass, it's a lot quicker to steam out. We use a steamer to steam the wax out of the second mould, and that's why it's called lost wax. Okay, that's your wax casting.